Patrick Mahomes was on top of the world. At just 27 years old, he had already cemented his status as one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. With a Super Bowl championship, NFL MVP award, and countless records under his belt, Mahomes seemed destined for a Hall of Fame career. But in the blink of an eye, Mahomes' world came crashing down, the result of a shocking betrayal by the one person he thought he could trust the most. This is the untold story of how Patrick Mahomes' own lawyers sold him out for a staggering $10 million payday. Mahomes. I still can't believe it happened. I mean, this guy was my lawyer, my advisor, the person I confided in for years. He was supposed to have my back no matter what. But in the end, he betrayed me in the worst way possible. It all started in the spring of 2022, when Mahomes found himself embroiled in a high-profile legal battle. A former business partner was suing him for breach of contract, demanding tens of millions in damages. Mahomes knew he had done nothing wrong, but this was a complex case with huge stakes. He needed an experienced, ruthless litigator to protect his interests. That's when he turned to Vincent Russo, one of the most renowned sports lawyers in the country. Russo. When Patrick first came to me, I could tell he was really stressed out. This was a make-or-break moment in his career. But I assured him, I'd leave no stone unturned. I'd fight tooth and nail to make sure he came out on top. And that's exactly what Russo did. For months, he worked tirelessly, digging up dirt on Mahomes' former partner and building an airtight legal defense. The trial was a grueling affair, with both sides pulling out all the stops. But in the end, Russo's brilliance shone through. He eviscerated the plaintiff's case, and the jury ultimately ruled in Mahomes' favor. It was a huge victory, one that seemed to cement Mahomes' legacy as an NFL icon. Mahomes. I was so relieved when we won that case. It was such a weight off my shoulders. I remember hugging Russo and thanking him profusely. He'd fought for me like a pit bull, and I knew I owed him big time. Little did Mahomes know, that hug would be the last genuine moment they'd ever share. Because unbeknownst to him, Russo had been secretly plotting his betrayal the entire time. It turned out that during the trial, Russo had been approached by a wealthy businessman with an intriguing and highly lucrative proposal. This businessman, who had ties to Mahomes' former partner, was willing to pay Russo $10 million if he could convince Mahomes to drop the case. Russo, blinded by greed, jumped at the opportunity. He began secretly meeting with the businessman, hatching a plan to undermine Mahomes' legal strategy from the inside. And when the trial ended in victory for Mahomes, Russo saw his chance to strike. Russo. I'll admit, I was tempted by the money. $10 million is an insane amount of cash, enough to set me up for life. And the businessman promised he could make all my financial problems go away. I got greedy, plain and simple. So in the days after the trial, Russo approached Mahomes with a shocking proposal. He claimed that new evidence had emerged that could jeopardize the verdict, and that Mahomes should consider settling the case out of court. Mahomes, trusting his lawyer implicitly, agreed to hear him out. Mahomes. I was stunned when Russo told me we might be in trouble. I mean, we just won the case decisively. I couldn't imagine what new information could possibly change that. But Russo was so convincing, so adamant that we needed to settle. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet with the other side. That meeting would prove to be Mahomes' undoing. Russo had secretly tipped off the businessman, who proceeded to offer Mahomes a sizable settlement. And with Russo strongly advising him to take the deal, Mahomes felt he had no choice. What Mahomes didn't know was that the entire time, Russo had been working hand in hand with the businessman, betraying his own client for a $10 million payday. The settlement agreement was just a ruse, a way for the businessman to recoup his losses while lining Russo's pockets. Mahomes was devastated when he finally learned the truth. His trust had been shattered, his legacy threatened. And to make matters worse, the NFL suspended him for the first 8 games of the upcoming season, citing his role in the settlement. Mahomes. I felt so betrayed, so used. Russo was supposed to be in my corner, fighting for me no matter what. But in the end, he sold me out for a pile of cash. It's a betrayal I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive. Today, Mahomes is still picking up the pieces, both personally and professionally. The suspension has cast a cloud over his career, and he's struggled to regain the trust of his teammates and fans. As for Russo, he's facing disbarment and potential criminal charges for his role in the scandal. But for Mahomes, the pain of this betrayal may never fully heal. This has been the untold story of how Patrick Mahomes' own lawyer betrayed him for a $10 million payday. A cautionary tale of greed, deception, and the fragility of trust. Patrick Mahomes' legacy may never be the same.